is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio. PHLV Radio.
Hello, good evening. It is Saturday evening here in the Pacific, and it is 11:11 p.m. And I know you guys are wondering why so late, because our normal hour is 10 o'clock on the Pacific, and in the Philippines it is like 2:11 right now, and normally our hours is 1 p.m. on a Sunday. So for those people watching us on this part of my world, it's it's good evening, and if you're watching from the Philippines, magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. And ito yung kwento, and I know a lot of you were texting me earlier because you're so used to having us, or for you to see us, ang Dear Kuya Josh, Ate Jen, at 1 p.m. in the Philippines, and then 10 o'clock in the Pacific, or this part of the world, and then different time zone wherever you are around the world. So, but today, may ano tayo, I think this is a wake-up call because of Mother Earth. Can you believe Las Vegas hit one of the highest right now? It's not the highest record. It's 115 Fahrenheit, which is converted, if you are, of course, separate people will ask me, ano yung sa Celsius? It's 43 Celsius. And that's high kasi normally 23 lang dapat eh. Yung parang comfortable ka, hindi mainit, malamig, 23 to 24 Celsius. But umabot po siya ng 43, imagine double. So it's really, kaya because of that, I was informed na medyo nag-surge yung electricity or yung power sa Las Vegas. And as you know, the main office or the main station is based in Las Vegas. So we're asking for your consideration. So sorry po, it was not intention. But hopefully next week we'll be back on our regular hours, which is 1 p.m. in the Philippines, and then it's going to be 10 p.m. here in the Pacific, and then of course it depends on where you are in the world. Tingnan nyo na lang po sa time zone. Now, before we continue, this is so exciting because I have a very special co-host for today. Medyo nabudol-budol ko siya. but before anything else, live na live. We're live na live po kami ngayon on PHLB Radio Facebook page. Also, we are live na live din po on PHLB Radio YouTube channel. So if you're not a subscriber yet, what are you waiting for? I think you should like, share, and subscribe para you won't miss any of the shows, and you could go back and do the replay of any of the shows of PHLB Radio para hindi kayo naiiwan sa mga news and mga special events, as well as informations that as a Filipino-American or whatever race, you would know more about the country and more about, especially for Filipinos abroad. Also, live na live po kami. If you are using Amazon Fire TV, all you have to do is go to PHLB Radio channel. And of course, some people are very techy. They have the I forgot that name. It's just a machine. Oh, Alexa, because there's Alexa and there's the other one, the Google. But if you have Alexa, all you have to do is say, Alexa, play PHLB Radio. And those people naman po who would not have access, na you didn't bring your computer, your laptop, your phone, wala kayo ng data, no problem at all. Live na live din po kami through audio streaming on different podcasts, namely Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Now, everybody's asking me to this day, what if we miss any of the shows, or we want to go back, or we want to rewatch or the replay? No problem, no worries at all. That was already taken care of. All you have to do is get into our website, which is www.phlbradio.com, or definitely you could go back to our PHLB Radio YouTube channel, and there's already a playlist of all the shows, including my show and the show yesterday. But before we continue and introduce you to our special guest, I just want to take this opportunity to thank everybody dun sa nanood po kahapon sa Alam Mo Ba with yung guest po ko ay yung Mr. of Filipinas America, batch number 1. It was such a great show. If you missed it, go back and replay. You would know these candidates that we had 5 of them out of the 12, and the batch 2 will be next week. They are not only they have the looks, they have the height, they have the bearing. At the same time, they are very intelligent. So it will be an interesting pageant comes August 6th here in Los Angeles, and we'll give you more information about that. So without much further ado, ito yung nabudol-budol kong guest host. My God, paiyakan talaga to before I could get her to say yes, kasi medyo mahiyain daw siya, pero lagi naman siya may comment sa mga letter sender natin. So without much further ado, here I am presenting to you Ayin Mang Alonso, who is based in Parañaque. I think she's in Parañaque or in Quezon City. Welcome, Ayin. Welcome to the show of Alam Mo Ba? Hi.
Hello, Josh. Hello, everyone. It's nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me. Nahihiya pa rin ako.
Yeah, kasi kasi very, very introvert. Except when we talk about mga Korean pop stars and Korean.
Pwede yan.
Isa siyang Korean pop star or whatever you guys call it.
Fangirl.
Fangirl, sobrang fangirl. So eto, Ayin, magandang ating storya today. And those people who are logging in, like si Emma Consul is watching from Carson, California. Hi, Emma, I missed you. Juliet Marcos are watching also from Laguna. And I know a lot of people are watching. Magpa-shoutout po kayo kasi there's some people already. And I know a lot of people were confused of the time. We apologize. We're going back again. Like what I said, power outage lang po. Today in Las Vegas, so in-adjust namin because they have to move the station to another location para may power. And this is the result. Okay, let's start. You ready? Si Ayin po ang ating guest co-host today, and hopefully makumbisi natin na not only today, para hanggang next week, depending on the schedule. Kasi she's so busy. So Ayin, tell us something about yourself. Anong kwento sa'yo? So you're based in Parañaque.
No, right now I'm here in my boarding house here in Quezon City. Yes, and well, kasi bukas may pasok eh. Kaya mas malapit ako dito.
Well, happy Independence Day, by the way.
Yes, happy Independence Day, mga kapuso.
Yeah.
Here in abroad.
Okay, ito pong radio station namin, walang kinikilingan. So you could be kapamilya, kapuso,
kaibigan. So all the Filipinos here.
Yeah,
all
but
Filipinos here in abroad. Hello.
She's been around and she always has this comment regarding some of our shows and some of the letter senders. Pero because of the schedule, like in busy, hindi po siya nakaka-live sa atin. But now she is here with us, and hopefully this is not the last, pero medyo pahirapan natin siya. So okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is interesting. Ang ating episode today is It's Time to Let Go. Okay, again, our episode for today is Time to Let Go. This is so timely. Sabi ko, nako, mukhang mapapasabak si Ayin today. Sabi niya,
madrama pala siya.
Eto na.
Madrama.
Dear Kuya Josh and Ate Ayin, good day to you. Thank you in advance for your time to read my email. I hope that this email finds you well. I'm Sandro with a Z, 45 years old, biyudo, at may 3 anak. Kuya Josh, Ate Ayin, the May 9 election is done and over with. Pero to this day, we are still not talking to members of my family due to candidates we supported during the recent election. Hala, Kuya Josh, Ate Ayin, I supported the BBM Sara tandem while my children and immediate family, or entire clan for that matter, supported Lenny and Kiko tandem. Several discussions that became heated, majority of the time was rooted because of our different affiliations. Issues of martial law, human rights violation, tax evasion were frequently discussed. In return, issues of intelligence, ability to discuss issues, and concerns were my apprehension with the Lenny-Kiko tandem. The discussions were so heated na minsan nagkakapikunan sa discussion. nagkakabatuhan minsan ng mga gamit. Although wala namang tinatamaan at may mga maraming dabog-dabog. Talagang away kung away. Not physical naman, but more mental and emotional. 2 months before the election, we stopped speaking to one another. Naging competition talaga among supporters. If they hang pink tarpaulin na may bagay na pink or anything na may pink, I will post naman at magsasabit din ako ng red tarpaulin din. Siyempre, walang gustong magpatalo sa amin. I personally refuse to wear anything pink and blue. Panay red and green lang. Even our curtains, mga bagay sa bahay, pinilitan ko ng red and green. Pag may news about Marcos and Sara, full blast ang speaker ko para mabingi sila at madinig nila sa buong neighborhood. Pati mga kotse namin, I had it painted to red and green. Wag ka. My family did the same thing. We live in a compound kasi, so talagang intense ang competition sa pamilya pa lang namin. They blame BBM for the so-called mga mali ni Marcos Sr. I used what you said in one of your shows sa discussion namin. Ang sabi ko, narinig ko sa alam mo ba, with Kuya Josh, Ate Jen, ang kasalanan ng ama o ina ay hindi kasalanan ng mga anak. Kuya Josh, Ate Ayin, tapos na ang eleksyon, tapos na ang laban, tambak ang Lenny Kiko tandem, tsunami ang lamang ng BBM Sara. Yan ngayon ang problema. Di sila makamove on, or should I say, move forward sa outcome of the election. To this day, we have not talked with each other. Iwasan ng iwasan, isnaban ng isnaban. Lahat kami damay-damay. Ang dating harmonious na samahan naming mga magkakapamilya is sobrang apektuhan ng eleksyon. Dati-rati, may mga family outing kami as a clan pag summer. This year, cancel yun dahil sa away eleksyon. Pero we used to eat together as a big family even Sundays or during Sundays after church since we live in a compound nga. That too is gone. Lahat super affected. Kuya Josh, Ate Ayin, di ba dapat move on na? May nanalo na? Nagsalita na ang voice of the people? Sabi nga, the voice of the people is the voice of God. Whether true or not, it is time to let go. I think, di ba dapat tapos ng election, dapat tapos na rin ang awayan. Hindi ko talaga maintindihan bakit holding on pa rin sa mga kaganapan sa kampanya. Kuya Josh, Ate Ayin, I'm writing to you so your viewers and listeners can give their opinion, advice, comments regarding our situation. I do not wish and want this to go further. My family is sad that this might be longer if we do not contain it now. Baka 6 years matapos itong alita ito, wag naman sana. Kuya Josh, Ate Ayin, I told them if you do not like the winners, at least respect their offices. I told them to give the winning team the chance to make good on their promises. Maraming salamat sa time na binigay mo sa sulat ko. Nagmamahal at tumatangkilik sa show mo, nyo, Sandro. Okay, before we go sa mga comments natin, si Gina Marcos is watching. Divine Grace watching. Hi, Divine. Happy viewing. Catherine Cruz is watching. Catherine is the wife of the former Consul General of Los Angeles. And then si Edita Berdoro Lamongo Francisco is watching as well. Aba, talagang kahit late na. Talagang maraming salamat sa support, Tati Ayin. Ikaw muna magbigay na yung kuro-kuro. What do you think? Itong time to let go. It's time to let go. Ito pala ay tungkol sa election. Dahil kasi dati-dati magkakasundo sila. It's a whole family living in a compound. Tapos all of a sudden, which is so close to home, di ba? So what do you think? Kasi parang hindi na sila nag-uusap. Parang, di ba? Nakakatawa kasi, it should not be nakakatawa. Nakakasama ng loob thinking na hindi sila naging bate after the election. Like
Oo
what he
nga,
said,
oo.
sabi ni Sandro, may nanalo na. At di ba yung mga ganyan? So I will leave it for you first. Before anything else, si Martin John Arellano is watching. Kanya, hello sir. Sunny Francisco is watching too. Okay, go! Anong masasabi mo? Nako, ito yung hindi nabanggit yung ibang candidates. Pero so far, si Sandro ay obviously, sabi niya, BBM / Sara. So that's red, and color green. Tapos yung pamilya niya, including yung 3 anak niya, pati yung clan, ay Lenny and Kiko. So that's pink in color, rosas, at saka si Kiko is blue, I think. Right?
Yeah, si Sandro, sabi mo, is 45 and he's single.
45 years old you though, with 3 kids, yes.
Ilan taon na ba yung mga anak niya kaya? Kasi para for them to be very passionate with their, yung candidates na gusto nila.
Na yan. Siguro mga 20s.
They're the adults na rin siguro,
voting age na yan. Yeah, kasi 45 ka na yun.
Ang hirap lang kasi, they've taken it to a personal level, yung pagkakagusto nila sa candidates nila, yung pag-support, which is, and even after election, they still feel the same, meron silang alitan, it's really sad. But the thing is, baka pwedeng kausapin ni Sandro yung mga anak niya na, to have a heart-to-heart talk about this kasi it cannot go on. I mean, they cannot go through their lives na merong ganitong samaan na loob just because of an election. An election is one phase in our lives as a citizen. Pero after this talaga, we really have to move on. It's really time to let go. Sabi nga doon sa topic mo ngayon, di ba? Kaya lang that letting go, depende rin kasi letting go, it will only happen if you accept what it is that you need to let go and everything, will fall into place. Parang gano'n, di ba? So,
okay, may tanong ako sa iyo. Okay, go ahead. May duktong ka pa?
Hindi, as long as, kaya nga, it's really, it's best kung makausap sana ni Sandro yung mga anak niya and they really have to discuss this kasi it's getting serious na, na-apektuhan na yung kanilang relationship, di ba? So, baka dapat mag-usap sila and then discuss over it. Para
alam mo, kasi di ba, I was in Manila during that period wherein kainitan from February to May. Parang that before May 9. Nakita ko talaga doon sa mga viewers and listeners, I saw talaga grabe yung intense. Filipinos abroad, iba tayo dito eh. More of pinapadala through mail para sa absentee voting, tapos mga email, doon pinapakita yung mga in the Philippines, and one of these days I'll show you some videos and footage I did. Grabe talaga. It's a sight to see, especially if you're not familiar with how elections are done in the Philippines. Talaga yung mud throwing talaga. Talagang kumbaga, talagang, I would say, talagang intense. Talagang, it gets to their emotion. Talagang we see people fighting. Nakikita mo yung, there's reports pa nga, I think it was covered by media, even the international media, yung mga naka-mask ng, kunyari naka-red mask with BBM logo in it, sinusugat naman sila ng mga pink. And I would assume na may mga ganun ding instances, hindi lang nare-report. Talagang intense. And the tarpaulins, yung mga posters, parang talagang, it is parang piyesta kasi lahat ng party ng mga walls, posts, mga poste, mga bakod, talagang kumpleto sila ng mga tarpaulins ng different candidates. Tapos of course, mga controversy, talagang yung mga issues nila. So yung nakakalungkot, and I agree with Ayin, na dapat kasi time to move on. Sabi nga ni Sandro, may nanalo na. Whether you like the team who won, that was already done and over with. Tapos na. Sabi nga ni Ayin, one day lang yan. One day lang yan sa buhay ng tao. Sabi ko nga kasi prior to this letter, may nagtatanong sa akin kasi nga parang, Josh, ikaw sinong binoto mo? And that's for me to keep a secret. Okay? Basta, ang sabi ko, I did vote, absentee voting, and I voted I voted based on issues. Okay. So yun, teka, before I continue, si Juliet Marcos, sabi niya, Hello, Juliet. Happy viewing tayo. Sabi ni Juliet, masyado naman nilang sinoryoso ang eleksyon. Dapat tanggapin nila kung sinong nanalo. Iisang pamilya naman sila. Move on na lang po. Marami nga pong naging affected sa election. Agree. I cannot agree more. Si Alexander Francisco said, oo, tama kasi lahat tayo may kanya-kanyang sinusuportahan. Dapat matuto tayong tanggapin kung ano ang gusto ng iba. At huwag nating hayaang masira o magkagulo ang pamilya natin. Absolutely correct, Alexander at saka Juliet. At yun nga pero hindi to isolated case. I know kahit dito sa Amerika, to this day, meron pa rin mga factions. I was invited to different victory party. Kasi nga, di ba, hindi naman, it's not a secret that of course the BBM Sara camp here in Los Angeles are having a celebration, a victory celebration. Tapos sila, yung Pink and yung Lenny and Kiko is having also their celebration because in their eyes, hindi man sila nanalo ng election, pero nagawa naman nila yung organization na tinatawag na Angat Buhay. So I agree with Ayin, I agree with Juliet, and I agree with Alexander. May kanya-kanya tayong paniniwala, but you don't have to let it go over the family kasi iba yung pamilya. Family is forever, sabi nga ng isang station. Di ba? Kasi yung candidate, yung sino nanalo, or in this case, BBM Sara, 6 years lang yan. After 6 years, you still have the family. Di ba? Kunyari, natapos ang 6 years. Are you telling me your life is too short? Life is too short to be so inundated with this drama. Unang-una, lagi ko tinatanong, kilala ka ba ni BBM? Kilala ka ba ni Sara para you act that way? Same thing with Lenny and Kiko. Maybe nakapagpa-picture ka during the parade, during the caravan. So that's it. So ang gawin mo na lang, I agree yung sinabi ni Sandro. Sandro, thank you I agree na sinabi niya na dapat move on na talaga. Ayin, may tanong ako sa'yo. Sinabi rin dito na napag-usapan dati. Kasi ginamit nga niya yung isang quotation sa isang show ng Dear Kuya Josh Ate Jenna. The sins of the father or the mother is not or are not sins of the son or the daughter. Anong kuro-kuro mo dyan? Anong pananaw? Dapat ba ang kasalanan ng ama ng ina mo should be passed on to you? Wala bang kamatayan yon? Kasi yung ginamit ni Sandro as a talking point, kumbaga, na yung binibintang nyo, kunyari martial law, human rights abuses, that was accorded to the senior, to Marcos or Ferdinand Sr., but di ba naging issue yun? So sinabi nga ni Sandro, yun ang sinabi niya sa kanyang letter na ginamit niya yung nakuha niya dito sa show na the sin of the son or the sin of the father should not be passed on to the sin of the son. Anong take mo dyan, Ayin?
Manis, ano yan mahirap, madaming beliefs on that. Based on kung ganong kagrabe yung sin of father. In the case of the Marcoses, maraming naniniwala na the son can take after the father or totally different sila. It's really depends on their viewpoint. Ang sa akin lang kasi, wag na sana nilang hayaan ma-affect ang relationship nila. Depende doon sa paniniwala nila about the issue. So, parang ganun. Sana they let it rest and let's just move on na lang and what will happen in the country, ganun ba? Wag na nila masyadong focus on it. I mean, he won and then let's just move on. Pero yung iba talaga, they would not accept. And okay lang din yan, don't accept. But don't dwell on it. I mean, you also have to move on and gawin mo yung mga dapat mong gawin as a citizen. Diba?
Yeah, kasi in life naman, di ba, parang if you join a contest, in my mind, there'll be a winner and there a loser or hindi winner. So let's not call it a loser. Merong nanalo at merong hindi nanalo. So, dapat parang accept mo yon. Kasi if you voted as a citizen, you did your part. Now, kung maraming bumoto, like in this case, sabi nga ni Sandro, tsunami, meaning super tambak sabi nga niya, 41, parang 31 million, almost 32 million yung nakuha ni Bongbong at naman si Lenny at was 15 million. So ang laki talaga ng gap. So whether you like it or not, sabi nga, kasi nabasa ko rin yun and I know that phrase was used that the voice of the people is the voice of God. Whether you believe it or not, dapat yata ang suggestion ko, Sandro, and of course, sana maipakinig mo ito sa mga kapamilya mo diyan na hayaan muna kasi parang nagsalita ng sambayanan, 'di ba? Kung nag-tilt naman yung I think you would do the same thing. Basta ako ang positioning ko diyan, family is more important. Life is too short. Ang dami nang namamatay. Mga pandemya, masyadong stressful. Huwag na nating dagdagan. Tapos yung mga anak mo, and I would assume they're on their 20s, you're 45 years old, you're a widower, kawawa naman, di ba? Parang you're in one household kasi nag-aaway-away kayo. I find it interesting kasi when I was there, I listened to different debates. I listened yung mga kaibigan ko. Minsan talaga nagkaka-walk out. It happened. Nagkaka-walk out, may dabog-dabog, minsan ayaw na may pagkita, o kaya pag meron kaming gathering, kailangan hindi magkatabi yung kandidato, whether yung Isko, Kiko, Isko, or Ping, or Manny, or BBM.
Talaga? Dapat hindi magkatabi?
Yeah. Parang ganun. So, may mga ganun na talagang...
I think really depends kung yung sa group of people like yung sa mga my friends or even my office mates, iba-iba kami din ng sinusupport. But sometimes, like for myself, I'm speaking for myself lang, I really don't ask, who are you going to vote for? Kasi sometimes I don't want to go into discussion and then debates, mga ganyan. But if they tell me, talaga, okay, ganun lang ako. Pero to go into discussion, yung mga debates sa ganyan, ayoko yung mga ganyan kasi stressful lang yan. Less
kaya
stressful.
nga, di ba, it has been said, para hindi masira ang pagkakaibigan o pagsasamahan, there are 3 topics you should avoid. Politics, sex, and religion. And I believe that. Kasi minsan talaga, it depends on the intellectual maturity. Hindi sa age Minsan talaga, and I've seen it, especially when I was in the country, in Manila, for this election, talagang nakaka-heated talaga. Meron akong mga kakilala, they refuse to wear pink, they refuse to wear red, kasi nagkakaroon ng kulay. Pati kulay nagkaroon ng politics.
Actually, hindi lang naman sa politics yan, di ba? Even kapag may sinusuportahan ka kuwari sa game, sa basketball, or ano. Basta every time na may sinusuportahan ka, or meron ka kalaban isa, those things happen, nagkakainitan, it affects your relationship. It really depends how long you will, you will take it to heart na, ay talaga ito, para sa ito sinuportahan ko, ayoko sa'yo, mga ganun. And you just said the word maturity. It all boils down to maturity in dealing with this situation, di ba? So, on how you will let go, on how you move on. So maybe we can, your viewers or listeners can help Sandro to give some tips on how to let go. Ako, ang sinuggest ko kanina is, sana kausapin niya yung mga anak niya to have a discussion, a heart-to-heart on mga bagay-bagay. It really cannot drag on to this. Kailangan talaga mag-let. And I think...
Ayun yung mga tao katulad si Sandro. Pati kotse niya, pinunta niya yung kulay. Ginawa niyang red.
Ganyan talaga. Meron talaga mga ganyan.
Parang Sandro, I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing with you. Kasi talagang extreme, di ba? Parang, biro mo, parang pati kotse nila, pinunta niya ng kulay, ginawa niyang red and green. Di ba?
But I think makakatulong to let go. If both parties would agree, like yung si Sandro, and then yung family or yung kids niya, siguro to pakalimutan muna. Like, if the colors is very sensitive to them, edi wag mag-red, green, pink, or ano. Go to earth colors. Brown, peach, mga ganun. Ganun na black. Di ba mga black, white? Ganun muna para lang magkasundo sila. Kasi what really needs for Sandro and the kids is kailangan magkasundo na muna sila. Tama na muna yung alita na ganyan. Pag nagkasundo na, tsaka paunti-unti, step by step. So, sana both parties or sana Sandro being the father can suggest to his kid to, na ganito muna gawin natin. para maiwasan yung kainitan ganyan. Let us try to avoid things that would, remind us of those kampihan. Although, syempre, every day goes by yung mga news, mababata mo si Marcos, gano'n, si magagalit na naman yung may ayaw kay Marcos. But Sandro has to explain to his kids, this is life, we have to move on, we have to let go. Ganun lang yun. Kaya lang, kailangan tulungan. Like, kung ano yung mga bagay na mga katulong para magkabati na sa may iwasan ganyan, they really have to, ito, dapat volunteer nilang gagawin. Ganun ba?
I agree. Alam mo, before I continue, si Lloyd Mystica is watching from Liliu, Laguna. Happy watching, Lloyd. Yeah, kasi alam mo, sa akin kasi yung politika, it's one day eh. And of course, you should not be bothered yung paniniwala mo, affiliation mo. Kasi what is important is you pray. Firstly, kung nanalo yung hindi mo kandidato, you pray for that person. Kasi nga, yung pagkapanalo niya, they'll be running the country for the next 6 years. Okay, so pag pumalpak yan, palpak buong country, and it will have a trickle-down effect sa livelihood ng bawat mamayang Filipino. And even Filipinos abroad, depende sa policy nila on foreign affairs and foreign policy for OFW, that is all interrelated. So, huwag tayong masyadong myopic, yung parang masyadong tara yung isip natin. I always tell people, kasi marami ako, especially now that I'm back in LA, a lot of them are pink supporters, talagang driven. The way I went to a dinner, talaga yun ang topic. And I was telling them, kung hindi nyo gusto yung nanalo, kung hindi nyo respeto yung tao, respeto nyo yung office it represents. Kasi good example dito, I'll use the one we did here. During the 2020, yung election ni Biden and Trump. So, 'di ba, parang everybody was going with Biden, tapos may mga Trump people naman na very supportive. Pero talagang away-away sila. Pero after the election, move on na lahat. Parang it's business as usual. I'm not saying that you guys or the Filipinos, kasi masyadong intense talaga mga Pinoy eh. Iba talaga tayo kahit sa artista. Eto naman. Mag-off tangent lang tayo ng kote. What can you say? What's your take naman doon sa mga artista na openly supportive? Ngayon nababati ko. Like a good example, there's 2 singers here in America from the Philippines that are planning to have a concert, a huge concert. They're huge singers in the Philippines, pero ang kumakalat sa community, makakancel yung concert kasi ibo-boycott daw because they were supporting another candidate. So yun, parang kumbaga,
that's sad. That's really sad.
Yeah. So what's your take naman doon sa mga artista na openly naman nag-support? And di ba minsan sinasabi pa nila, hindi nakatulong yung artista o yung group of artists. For example, di ba a lot of people, sabi nga nila when they had the meeting the Avance, both of them were in Manila, different dates of course, lahat nag-register ng 1 million plus for both. Yung isa, 4 lang yung artista o 5, and then the other candidate, parang the whole station na hindi natin papangalanan, parang lahat ng artista doon. Pero hindi nag-translate sa vote. Sa tingin mo ba, being that you're part of a network, nag-iba na ba talaga ang political landscape as far as people voting? Kasi dati, di ba, pag tinaas ng kamay ng artista yung kandidato, parang kuha niya yung followers, di ba? Pero that seems like not the case this time.
No, you know what? Kumare, for the artists, for the celebrities, they should it's their right. But they should also realize yung possible consequences that it will have an effect pag nakita ng mga fans sila na ito sinusuportan nila. For the fans, it's the artist's right. You should respect it. Kaya lang, it's up to you if you will continue to support that celebrity being na ito pala yung sinuportan niyang kandidato. Kaya lang kasi ikaw, kunwari, you're a fan of this artist and sinuportan niya iba. Kung talagang, di ba kung talagang loves mo tong artist na to, it should not really bother you na ito sinuportan niya. Pero at the same time, ang ibang fans ang thinking, ay ito pala paniniwala niya sa ganito, kaya ayoko na sa kanya. Well, that happens. So, the celebrities would have to be open to it. Dapat i-expect nila na pwedeng may ganun mangyari. Kaya lang talaga, marami talaga, I think, here in the Philippines, it's still the same. Yung let's say, itong artista to, sikat na sikat, ito mabote, tapos maraming supporters, diba? And I think malakas pa rin yung ganun. But there are some that can live by, natalo yung artista ko, ito yung binote niya, natalo, tapos, support pa rin. May ganun eh. It happens. It's still the same.
Diba? Parang, let's face it, ang usong-uso ngayon corridor is TikTok, social media corridor, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. A lot of my friends na talagang, let's face it, dalawa lang naman talaga naglaban eh. That's BBM Sara / Lenny Kiko. Most of them nag-unfriend, which sabi ko, bakit napaka-immature for me? Diba? Tapos
ngayon, may mga ganun pala.
Diba? Parang sinira mo yung pagkaibigan just because. And I always tell them, alam mo, bago ka mag-unfriend, kilala ka ba nila? Diba? I always tell them, kilala ka ba nila? O you know what they stand for. But at the end of the day, ano ba yan? Makakatulong ba sa livelihood mo yan? Yung pag-unfriend mo? Kasi you don't know. This social media should be, of course, depending on how you use it. It could be dangerous, it could be helpful, it could be supportive, it could be nerve-wracking. Pero I don't think, what's your take on that? Yung mga nag-unfriend dahil iba yung paniniwala nila, whether in politics, religion, or any opinion in life for that matter. Do you agree that people should unfriend people simply because you have differences opinion and point of view?
You know what? It's really up to you kasi I have to be honest, sa IG, there's this artist that I'm supporting and she supports pala yung hindi ko gusto. Hindi ko naman siya in-unfollow, pero hindi na ako masyadong interested sa mga anong ganap niya. Parang ganun. Or,
why is that though?
Kasi
bakit
parang,
ganun?
kasi hindi ko, it's a good example. Kasi it's because, like sa akin, I'm a fan of this celebrity. Nakita ko ito pala sinusuportahan na hindi ko sinusuportahan. So I'm thinking, itong fan na to, sinusupport niya itong politician na to na hindi kami pareho ng beliefs eh. So kaya parang, ganito pala siya. Medyo para sa akin, nakabawas
sa
politics yun.
So image ng artista sa'yo.
So parang, kasi knowing na this artist supports the beliefs of this politician, parang ganon. So parang, hindi kami magka-align. So, ayoko na. Pero hindi ko pa siya ina-unfollow. Inisip ko kaya unfollow ko. Ganon, but this is me. I mean, yun yung belief ko. So, whether I unfollow him or okay lang naman, hindi naman, yung mga unfollow ganyan, sa mga celebrities okay lang. Pero kapag sa kaibigan naman, medyo personal na, hindi na maganda yun. I do it only for yung sa mga celebrities ganyan, mga fans. Pero pag, like ako, meron ako isang BFF na magkaiba kami sa suporta, mag-BFF pa rin kami. Nothing got affected. Kami pa rin, BFF pa rin kami.
Yeah, pero di ba, the right way of doing it, kasi, di ba, voting age, I think is 21, right, in the Philippines? Is it 21?
Yes.
Yeah. I would assume, is it 18? Okay.
18.
So that being said, di ba dapat parang meron ka ng emotional and mental maturity? Yung ganyan kasi, for me, mga actuations na ganyan, yung mga actions na ganyan, it's just so, merong mga, di ba? Sa akin for me, merong immaturity, yung parang nagagalit ka, tapos parang ayaw mo na kausapin si friend mo.
Yan, mali talaga yon. Kapag personal yung, relationship. Pero kung mga celebrities lang is what I'm saying, okay lang kasi like, kung minsan I decide to unfollow this person, later ipa-follow ko rin. Kasi tapos na yung politics, mga ganun. So okay lang, pero wag lang nila idamay on a personal level na affected na yung mga friends, family. Yun yung mali. Yun yung being immature. Yun yung di maganda. Yun yung sad. It's a sad reality, di ba? But it happens.
Yeah, it does happen. Oh, now, yung last point ko sa'yo, ano yung take mo dun sa episode title nating It's Time to Let Go? When do you let go of something? I mean, set aside muna natin yung politics. When do you know na it's time to let go, it's time to move on in any situation?
Ang hirap kasi when you say let go, kaya mo sinasabi let go, that means yung before that, meron kang ayaw talagang mabitawan, di ba, na mahirap. So, the only time that I can let go is, okay pala, when you want to let go of something, you have to pray first. Kasi prayer helps a lot eh. Na minsan hindi ka maka-let go, minsan hindi ka maka-let go. Hindi naman madali, Diyos, hindi naman madali when you say let go, hindi ganun kadali, depende rin. Kapag if it's a problem, if it's a deep problem, especially relationships, ganyan, may naapektuhan tao, ganun, or if it's about work na talagang nahihirapan ka, I mean, letting go of the of your yung sama ng loob mo sa work, letting go of yung sakit ng loob na ramdaman mo sa person, it's hard, but you have to pray to ask for strength for you to let go. Parang gano'n eh. Hindi naman agad masasolve yung problem, but you ask for the strength para makayanan mong mag-let go. And letting go would also entail na you're starting to have faith in letting go of the situation of the problem. Then faith comes in kasi parang nananampalataya ka na things will turn out to be okay by letting go. So yun. It's time to let go. Timing is everything din eh. Hindi man pag sabi let go, pak, boom, let go na. Hindi ganun eh. Kasi, ano yan eh, parang healing process yan eh. So yun. Parang it's time to let go. But you really have to pray.
And I agree with you 100%. Talagang kung ano man yung pinagdadaanan ng mga listeners and viewers natin. The first really, and I've been telling and advising and sharing that talagang right now, especially with what happened in the world globally, talagang prayers lang ang kakampi mo eh. And I always believe prayers do move mountains. Tapos yung talagang faith mo, whoever it is, kung sino man yung sinasampalatayaan mo, kasi it's kanya-kanya tayo ng belief. As long as you know there's a supreme being other than yourself. Tapos you ask for discernment. Kasi yung letting go kasi, that's tough to do. Especially, kunyari, sa relationship, pag you put so much effort in it, meron ng may emotional na dyan. Forget about the money, kinikita mo yan eh. But yung effort, yung emotion, and to just walk away and say, everything is fine, I'll be fine. It takes a lot of courage. And it takes a lot of convincing. Like na, if you are even in a situation, di ba, parang in my mind, the first thing that one person at yung advice ko, you ask for discernment. Talagang you pray, you ask for discernment and guidance and trust. You just trust the supreme being that there's a bigger, greater plan that before we were even born, naka-layout na yun eh. Nagkakaroon lang ng problema dahil nga, you know, may mga pre-choice tayo eh. Na sometimes, ang tigas ng ulo rin natin, we push things that we want, not what is in line with the good Lord wants us to do. Diba?
But sometimes it's hard. Mahirap din mag-discern, Josh. What would help you also in letting go is when there's acceptance. If you accept things, you accept the situation, and then that's paunti-unti. When there's acceptance, things will follow eh. Things will fall into place even though you don't know na it will, parang gano'n. That's yung part na yun hindi mo alam, but it will. That's faith right there. Faith na yun eh. So, acceptance, faith, and together with prayer, it will really help you a lot in letting go.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Tapos yun nga, let's go back to Sandro. Sandro, firstly, maraming salamat sa pagtitiwala. Ito yung first, I think, letter na na-receive namin na talagang gonna touch on politics kasi normally problems o kaya relationships o kaya infidelity o kaya acceptance, tolerance. Ito yung first time na talagang it's so timely. Kasi sabi ko nga when I was telling my assistant, kasi nga I read it the other day, sabi ko, ay, tama-tama, it's Independence Day today in the Philippines. It's June 12. And then it's also Independence
Araw
Day.
ng Kalayaan.
Araw ng Kalayaan, di ba? Tapos ito yung
palayain
topic.
mo na, Sandro, sa mga anak
Oo, di ba? Palayain mo yung sarili mo. At the same time, I agree with Ayin and with Juliet and Alexander na, and yung mga may iba pang comments, please don't be shy. We're all in this together kasi talagang si Sandro litong-lito. I think I agree with Ayin na firstly, be the bigger person. Ikaw yung tatay eh. Itong mga anak, you cannot tell them the right, you cannot tell them the wrong, kasi may kanya-kanya tayong paniniwala, may kanya-kanya tayong people we'd like to support. Sabi nga, wala ngang, ang daliri natin, our hand, makakaiba yan ng fingerprint. Walang pareho. Yun ang dalawang bagay sa katawan ng tao magkakaiba. Tenga at ang ating mga kamay, yung ating fingers, they're different. Kaya nga, pag ito yung medyo trivia ng konti. Kaya nga lagi tayong kinukuhanan ng fingerprint. Tapos yung mga naman nagmamigrate, laging kinukuhanan yung tenga. Kasi the tenga cannot be duplicated. It's different. Iba-iba. Pag masdan nyo, pati mga fingerprints natin, kahit na mag-asawa kayo, magkamag-anak, mag-anak, iba-iba yung fingerprints natin. So that's why it's the point of identification.
That's
so
right.
Sandro, I always would say, be the bigger person. Kasi ikaw si tatay eh. Intindihin mo yung mga anak mo. Siyempre, nasaktan sila kasi they're supporting another candidate, whether it's
Lenny, pacify na lang ni Sandro yung mga anak niya. Like, I don't know, they take a vacation or, you know what, treat them to something nice o gano'n. Pacify na lang niya. Mga anak niya.
Before we continue, si Gina Marcos from Laguna, sabi niya, masakit talaga sa kalooban ang matalo. Masakit talaga sa kalooban ang matalo ang sinusuportahang kandidato. Kaya kailangan mag-move on. Kami nga, mag-asawa na wala ng trabaho.
Hala, wala ng trabaho.
Kasi maybe they are working for a candidate who lost.
Okay.
Diba? Kasi normally ganyan yan eh. Diba? Kumbaga, like, I'll take the example of si Bongbong. Bongbong is hiring people na kilala niya. O mga technocrat. Ang maganda kasi sa nakita ko and just read on the news, nag-hire siya ng walang color. You could be pink, you could be yellow, you could be it's the technocrats, which is so interesting. So yun nga, talagang tama.
Dapat naman, the color is no longer the question, di ba?
I know, di ba? Dapat ganun. Sandro, dapat yun ang explain mo sa family mo. The color should not even be there. Sayang, ang ganda pa naman ng pink color. Ang ganda pa naman ng blue color. Ayun naman, ang ganda ng red, ang ganda ng brown. Dapat alisin na natin kasi talaga ako, I always tell people, lalo na nung nagkipag mga meetings ako dito upon my return. Siyempre, yan ang topic for the first 2 weeks that I returned. Sabi ko, look, ang tanong ko, kilala ba kayo? O, nakipag-away kayo, you're losing relationship, nagkakasamaan kayo ng loob. Bakit? Kilala ba kayo? Kilala ba kayo nitong mga to? I-hire ba kayo sa gobyerno?
Oo nga, tama.
Support. Support mo na lang kung sino nanalo. At there's only 6 years lang to eh. I mean, remember
basta pag-pray na lang nila ang ating bansang Pilipinas.
Yes, tama. Kasi so
pray
far,
na lang, pray na lang.
Pag pinagpasdan mo naman yung mga moves niya, and you know, the inauguration will happen sa June 30, and it's gonna be at the National Museum on Burgos. So, you know, hindi pa naman siya umuupo sa office eh. A lot could still happen. Just panoorin na lang natin yung mga gagawin niya. Okay? Sabi ni Gina Marcos, ito yung nawalan sila ng trabaho. Tuloy lang ang buhay. That is a good attitude.
Tama yan.
Tuloy lang ang
Tama
buhay.
yan, Miss Gina. Okay yan.
Oo, si Gina. Kasi Gina Marcos ang last name niya. No relation yan. Tuloy lang ang buhay. Totoo naman. Kung ang sinuportan mo yung nanalo, great. Diba? Mag-celebrate. Kasi parang tama yung suporta mo. Kung natalo naman, It's only 6 years. Pwede pa kumandidato yan. Di ba yung mga natalo nga in the past election in 2016? Di ba yung unang election, Digong won? Di ba?
16 yan.
Yeah, 16. O di ba, ang daming nagalit, ganyan-ganyan. O pero, meron pa ring sympathizer, meron pa ring against. Parang ano na natin yan it's embedded in the Filipino culture na talagang, eto masakit pa sabihin, parang ayaw talaga natin matalo. And a lot of times, kahit mga contest ng Miss Universe, lagi pag natalo, dinaya. Pag tinalo, cooking show. Bakit ganun? We just need to be...
para alam magkakasunulan si Sara at yung mga anak niya. If they try to at some point shy away muna from politics, noon silang K-drama, mag-enjoy pa sila.
Teka muna. Kaya nga, Sandro, unang-una, I think what you need to do is invite your children for a cup of coffee and explain sa kanila na nagsisimula pa lang, you're 45 and I would assume kung nagasa ka mga 20s, nasa 20 na yan, 3 na yan. So it will be a good discussion. Parang sabihin mo, okay, ano muna, truce muna. Let's not talk about politics.
Dapat initiate ni Sandro yan.
Oo, di ba? Tapos sa mga clan mo naman, be the bigger person. Kasi sayang naman, sabi mo nga, you have this Sunday gathering na kumakain kayo lahat kasi isang compound. Ang ganda, di ba? Just to the idea na isang pamilya nakatira sa isang compound.
Yeah, diba? But Sandro has to do this first, ha? When I say initiate this discussion, not only that, but yung anything that would remind them of yung sa politics. Like, ano ba sabi mo? Pinituran niya ng red yung car niya? Tama ba?
Oo, red and green.
Red and green. So, ibahin na niya for the sake of art. I mean, for the sake of his kids na lang. Dapat siya muna mag-initiate.
Ito, si Juliet Marcos, another Marcos here. Parang tatay ko po, school siya. Ako, BBM. Laging sinasabi ng tatay ko kung kilala ko ba daw si BBM. Hindi porkit Marcos daw ako, yun ang iboboto ko. Pero ngayon, okay naman kami ng tatay ko. Diba?
Pwede naman I mean, tawanan niya lang yan or something. Kasi it's already there. I mean, it happened. They won. So, alam mo yon, just move on and let go. I mean, ikaw, intindihin mo na lang yung sarili mo, yung family mo, yung pagsasama nyo, yung relasyon nyo. It's time to think for yourselves na lang muna. I mean, diba? Tama sabi mo, Josh, life is so short. Especially after the pandemic and all. Ang hirap So magbati-bati kayo and just enjoy life.
Diba, Ayin, parang ang ganda ng buhay kapag wala kang heart feeling. To think, diba, ang hirap-hirap sa panahon ito na, diba, may nakapaligid sa atin na talagang walang ginawa kundi mang inis, diba, talagang it drives you crazy. And what do? You pray for them. You pray for this person.
Yeah, you pray for them, but at the same time, if you can do something, hindi ang galoka. If you can do something that would help them ease their, yung sama na gato, just do it. Kahit, huwag mo na sila intayin, mauna ka na. Diba? Ikaw na, magsimula ka na, and para mag-umpisa na yan. Magkasalusun.
Sandro, I think, when you make that move, wala nang asaran. Kasi in our culture kasi, sa Filipino culture talaga, kahit dito nakikita ko na parang, panalo kami, ganyan. Wag na. I mean, just don't gloat on the issue, di ba? Kasi nga may wag na. Kung ikaw nanalo, just be happy na nanalo yung kandidato mo, yung manok mo. It should not make any difference. Like what I said from the beginning, from the onset, family is forever. 6 years lang yan, yung mga nakaupo na yan. After 6 years, balik na naman tayo sa dati. Are you telling me na hindi kayo magpapansinan for the next 6 years? Are you telling me na mag-hold kayo ng grudges sa isa't isa? Snaban kayo? Para namang napaka-sad naman na you're one family, you live in a compound, tapos ito mangyayari. So, going back, I think it's high time to pick up the phone, you walk to them, you tell your kids.
Yeah, basta siya mag-initiate. Gawin niya lahat ng paraan, yung gano'n.
Yeah.
Pakita niya yung sincerity din niya. Baka naman kasi mag-asal si Santo, wag naman din gano'n, di ba? So,
well, if
pakita niya yung sincerity niya.
Understandable yun, I would say, in the first week of of after June 9 or 10, so bilang 10 or after the proclamation. Pero at the end of the day, I always tell people, kung hindi kayo supporter ng mga nanalo, whether in the Philippines, in the States, or any other country, if you cannot respect the person or the winning candidate, respect mo yung opisina nila. Kasi it was established not just for that individual. It was created because that person, that candidate, that team will be your leaders in the next 6 years. And isipin mo na lang, it will affect any decisions that they would do. Makaka-apekto yan sa'yo. Okay, from the taxes, from the job, from social services, anything else, talagang pati ang public relation, including international relation, lahat yan affected. So what I would suggest is not only to reach out to yung mga nakabangga mo, at yung mga namang kaibigan natin, ang mga nag-unfriend na, friend na. My God, di ba? Parang,
I mean,
diba?
Ano lang, enjoy life. Don't be so distressed over it. Just enjoy life.
Lalo na ngayon, my God. Now you see them, now you don't. I have sa circle ko, they're like dying like flies. And for other reasons, whether stress, COVID, o kaya heart attack, o kaya stroke. So, wag na nating dagdagan. Marami ng issues sa buhay. Marami ng things na mas importante kaysa yung May 9 election. Tapos na yun. It was one day. One day.
Yeah, at saka ikaw, kapag like ako, naasad din ako, nanalo kami, gano'n talaga. At dahil dyan, ilibre mo ko. Mga ganun
Tama.
Sana lang.
Use it to your advantage. Maka-free lunch ka pa or dinner, di ba?
Oo, dahil dyan, ilibre mo ko, tara, ilibre. Mga ganun lang. So, sobrang life. Make it light, make it fun. Enjoy life. Yeah. Be blessed with this life also.
It's one, like in this particular, Sandro, isang bansa lang yan. Sabi nga, isang bansa, you guys will be together. Hindi porket, and you never know. Sabi mo sa mga anak mo, be observant. Yun ang suggestion ko naman sa kanila. Be vigilant, meaning observe mo yung mga actions in the next 100 days or in the next 6 months. Tapos yan, doon kayo magkaroon ng discussion kasi nga talagang ewan ko ba, Ayin, in the Philippines masyadong intense ang politika eh. Masyadong parang yung personalan, doon ako medyo talagang it's
pero
not
like True. Sa nakikita ko mo ngayon or wala man babata. I mean, nagulat nga ako sa letter ni Zandro na may ganyang ganap. Pero ngayon, like, everybody's move on sa office. Alam ko kung ano yung mga sinuporta, pero okay naman. Happy, bati-bati. Walang ganun. Yung okay lang naman ngayon.
Supportahan na lang natin. But before we end, Ayin, any last word for Sandro?
Ay, nako, Sandro ha. Basta make sure do it now. Initiate that move. Gawin mo na yan. Huwag mo nang patagalin. Yung ba? Ikaw na, makipagbati ka na sa mga anak mo. Or, sabi mo sa kanila, let's make it work and wag na natin, kalimutan na natin yan. Although, baka very, very strong political belief na, ay, hindi ko kakalimutan to that. Baka may ganun sabi mo, yeah, what I meant is, let's put it to rest and let's enjoy life and let that not affect our relationship over it. Yun lang parang sabihin ni Zandro sa mga kids. Kasi, obviously, alam din ng mga kids yung kung ano nangyayari. So, dapat mag-trust na, di ba?
Yeah.
And enjoy life.
It's important. Good. Sandro, maraming salamat sa pagtitiwala. I hope na sila Juliet.
Good luck, Sandro. Kaya mo yan. Fighting!
Alexander, sila Edith, lahat ng mga nanood, lahat ng mga sumuporta. Maraming salamat sa pagtitiwala at maraming salamat for keep sharing this show at maraming salamat kay Ayin. Sana mabudol-budol pa kita next week. Uy, next week maganda yung topic. Oh my God. Yung topic next week, I think you'll be the good person to talk about it. Ang letter sender natin kasi what we do, Ayin, is I read the letter as they come in. Yung letter based on the recipient, the day that I receive it, she's a cancer survivor.
Oh.
Yeah, so so maybe you'll be perfect for that, and we'll touch on that later. Kasi itong tao na to, and I will not discuss that. She wants to give up on life.
Naku,
because
wag.
of that
Take it
sickness.
from me. No.
I know. So, pag-usapan natin yung next week. So, yung mga naandito pa po, it will be a good discussion next week. It's about a lady who has cancer right now, and she felt hopeless, she felt alone, and she felt parang bumaksak yung buong mundo sa kanya. So we don't have a title yet kasi I just read it kasi I read it when I get them. But anyway, that will be our topic for next Sunday in the Philippines at 1 p.m. and it will be 10 o'clock here in the Pacific, and for the rest of the world it will be different times, different days depending on your time zone. Now, maraming salamat, Ayin, for allowing us.
Thank you so much, Josh, also for inviting me.
Diba ang saya?
Thank you.
I told you. Si Josephine Castillo humahabol pa. Josephine is watching from Katipunan. So, hey, Josephine. If you miss any portion of the show, feel free to go back. I think maganda yung discussion na to. It's time to let go. Whether it's relationship, whether it's love life, whether it's job, or in this particular case, politics. So before I close the show, again, maraming salamat for continuously supporting the shows, especially itong show ko at yung show ko kahapon, at of course the other shows of PHLV Radio. Maraming salamat po. You're making so much difference. Our numbers are going, and it's growing leaps and bounds. Nakakagulat lang yung mga numbers na nare-register.
Wow,
Maraming
congrats!
salamat. I am so lost of words. God is good. And congratulations to the owner, yung promotor nitong mga PHLV shows. Walang iba kundi si Johan. So Johan, I know you're watching. You and your team are doing a fantastic job.
Johan.
Yeah, people like myself who could be in front of the screen, it would not be possible to be able to do this show kung wala yung technical support, lalo na yung care at saka yung talagang diligence, not only Johan but yung kanyang technical team. I did so many of the shows while I was in Asia, and parang nandito lang ako na parang wala lang. I just had the difficulties sa internet connection, and hopefully that's one of the things that the new government, the coming government, will fix. But who's to tell? So we just have to watch and see how it goes. Now, before I close any show or any of my shows, I always tell people, although it's very hard, I'm getting talagang mga challenges right now. Be kind. You can never go wrong with kindness. And any act of kindness that you do to people, kahit na nakakaasar minsan, I guarantee it will come back to you in different times, in different ways. And with that, Ayin, happy week kayo this coming week. God bless us all. Those people
you too, Josh.
Happy
Take care
viewing
and
lahat.
stay safe.
Take care for everybody. And
take care,
God
everyone.
bless us all. Have a wonderful week ahead of us. See you next Friday for Batch 2 of Misters of Pilipinas America Batch 2. Maganda pong talakayan yun. At yung sa Sunday po, yung ating cancer survivor. And Ayin, you'll still be with us next week, right?
I'm not sure, Josh.
I'm not sure. Tumigil ka dyan.
Schedule ko na. Tingnan natin. I'm not sure.
Sabi ni Juliet Marcos, congratulations and God bless. Congratulations sa ating lahat. Maraming salamat. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and happy Sunday to those
happy
people.
Philippine Independence Day.
And definitely happy Independence Day to everyone. Ipagdiwang natin ang kasarinlan in Tagalog, ang ating independence na talagang people fought and died for where we are today. So let's love our own. Let's not forget our humble beginning, because pag ang hindi raw tumingin sa pinanggalingan, hindi makakarating sa karoroonan. A little
Proud
tidbit.
to be Pinoy.
Proud to be Pinoy. Yes. Will you take care, Ayin, and to everybody.
Take care too. Stay safe,
maligayang happy viewing po, and looking forward to next week. Bye-bye, Ayin. Thank you again for co-hosting. Bye-bye.
Just like a friend from back home.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.
PHLV.